I'm AJ Holmes. I serve as the CEO and one of the co-founders of Negative Supply. Today we're going to take a quick opportunity to introduce you to the Negative Supply ecosystem of film scanning tools, let you know a little bit about who we are, the problems we've solved, and how our workflow will revolutionize the way you scan your film. Established in 2019, we started out with our first product, the Film Carrier Mark I, to solve problems around scanning 35mm strips and rolls of film. Other solutions that existed at the time didn't do a good job of holding film flat, keeping film in place, and masking out extraneous light to preserve contrast and give a sharp and impactful film scan. Our Film Carrier Mark I made good on the goals we'd set forth, and it was actually adopted by many users around the world. But the immediate question that came in after that, well, when's a 120 carrier going to come out, or when will you do this, or when will you do that, be it a copy stand, a light source, and so on. While we were originally based in Philadelphia, once our Film Carrier 120 was announced, we realized we had an opportunity to grow the business, expand our team, and relocate. So in March of 2020, we moved to California. That's the facility I'm in now, actually the third facility that we've been to in California to be exact. But we're based in Oxnard. We have a large team on site of engineers, hand assembly technicians, pack and ship team, customer service, administrative, etc. We take a lot of pride in hand assembling all of our products here at our Oxnard, California facility, including our light sources, film carriers, copy stands, and beyond. And we know many of you appreciate that fact as well. As the years have passed, we've expanded our range of covered formats beyond 35mm and 120 to also include 35mm full borders to see the sprockets of your film and rebate information, 120 full borders, again to show 100% of that piece of film, as well as alternative formats, Super 8, Minox, 110, APS, 126, 127, 4x5, and beyond. A common question when people discover Negative Supply is, what system is going to work best for my needs? Is there a bundle or a kit that would work well for me, or should I piece together a la carte items? And you can technically go either way, but today I want to talk to you about the main differences between our basic and pro film scanning systems and help you decide which system may be right for you. So on this side we have our newer version of our essential kit for 35mm film scanning, and right here we have many of the components for our pro kit for 35mm, 120, and 4x5 film scanning, though on display this is currently only set up for 35mm. The biggest difference between our basic and pro systems is going to come down to predominantly the film carriers, although there are differences between the light sources and copy stands as well. We'll focus in on the film carriers for now. So our essential and our enthusiast kits are typically going to include our basic film carrier line. This here is our basic Film Carrier 35 Mark II. Our premium, our curated, and our pro kits are going to include our Pro Film Carrier line. On display here is the Pro Film Carrier 35 Mark II. A very common question is, what are the differences between the basic and the Pro Film Carriers? Now, all of our film carriers, whether it's basic or pro, 35 or 120, mounted slides, etc., 110 APS, whatever it is, all of our carriers do hold your film flat. So it's good to lead with that. Whether you're using an entry-level carrier or one of our pro carriers, you're going to get flat and sharp results every time. The big differences come down to build quality and mechanism for film advance. So on our pro film carriers, these actually have solid steel plates, aluminum components, a lot more carbon fiber. These are solid, professionally built tools. You could throw through a window, pick it up, and keep using it. The basic film carriers are still a nice solid construction, but it's more carbon fiber, composite material. There's a little bit of stainless steel hardware, but it's much lighter weight. Does still, again, keep your film flat and give you a sharp result, but it's a much lighter product. It is meant to be more for an entry-level user. As I said before, another big difference between our basic and our pro film carriers is the film advance mechanism. So on the basic film carrier line, the film is fed through entirely by hand, and you would actually pull forward to the next frame one by one. This works, but it can be a little labor intensive for 36 frame rolls if your rolls are uncut. This is a good time to mention though, our basic film carriers and our pro carriers, all of them work well with strips, cut strips of film. The basic is a little bit better for really short strips like 3 and 4 frame, although the Pro does work with strips of 4 frames and longer. So on the basic, again, you feed the film through by hand. On the Pro, you start the film by hand, and once the leader is fully engaged, sometimes it has to go to the first or second frame. You have this film advance knob to go from frame to frame. This is a smooth and even and precise operation to easily go forward and back to fine-tune your cropping and your adjustment to make sure you get consistent and sharp results every time, but critically, without having to physically touch the film to move from frame to frame. This is a big improvement. As a general rule, the light sources in the Premium and the Curated and the Pro kits are brighter, they're built better, and they typically are going to either come defaulted at 99 CRI or the lowest CRI rating is going to be 97 to give you incredibly high color accuracy and nice even brightness as well. Also, our Pro kits and our Premium kits are typically going to include our ProRiser Mark III or our Basic Riser XL. These are our taller, stronger copy stands, the ProRiser having geared rise and fall for the camera adjustment, a larger solid steel baseboard, etc. Our Essential and Enthusiast kits are either going to include our Light Source 35 or our 4x5 Light Source Basic Mark II. These are nice light sources, they're nice and bright and they're even. They're not quite as bright as our Pro lights and don't have the same build quality as the light you'll find in our Pro kit, but they do still get the job done. Additionally, our Enthusiast and Essential kits are going to include our smaller copy stands, like the Basic Riser Mini Mark III and the Standard Basic Riser Mark III, which are still solid aluminum and steel, but they're not quite as tall. They do have a smaller baseboard, and they aren't quite as strong or as sturdy with really large and heavy medium format systems, for example. I've personally been shooting film of various formats for nearly 20 years, and one of the things I've always loved about film camera systems is the modularity. So when we design tools at Negative Supply, we absolutely keep modularity in mind. Whether you're using our 4x5 Light Source Pro, our 4x5 Light Source Basic Mark II, the Light Source Mini, which isn't on display, or our Pro Mount Mark II, all of these things have the same footprint. So if you're using our 120 slide holder, it'll drop right onto the lights, or it'll go right on top of the Pro Mount Mark II. If you're going to use our basic 4x5 film scanning kit, same situation. Our Pro Film Carrier 35 Mark II, the basic Film Carrier 35 Mark II, all of these things interchangeably engage with the Pro lights, the basic lights, the mini light, or the Pro Mount Mark II system. The high degree of modularity with our system also means it can adapt and evolve with you as your needs change as a photographer. So while you may start with one of our Enthusiast kits, say for 35 and 120, you may decide later, hey, I want to get into shooting 4x5, or maybe a relative or a friend has some 4x5 negatives they want me to scan for them. Great, well, it's easy to just add our basic 4x5 film scanning kit. It goes right on top of the light that's already included in your kit. Or maybe something more obscure comes up. You need to scan some 120, some 6x6 transparencies. Well, we have a 120 mounted slide holder. You can add that, it drops right on top of your light or right on top of your Pro Mount Mark II, where you can add in that functionality and that feature without having to ditch your system. It evolves as you need it to. One other feature I do want to mention as we talk about modularity isn't just on the footprint of the lights, it's also with the film carriers themselves. So whether you're using our Basic or Pro Film Carrier 35 Mark II or Basic or Pro Film Carrier 120 Mark II, those 120 carriers and the 35 carriers each share the same system of film scanning hoods, film scanning cassettes, and film advance modules, where you can have a broad range of functionality within that same carrier. While the Pro Film Carrier 35 Mark II, for example, comes set up for scanning standard 35mm film, you can undo these two thumb screws on the top of the carrier, slide out the cassette, and slide out the magnetically engaging film advance module. This cassette can be interchanged for 35 with full borders, for APS, 126, Minox, Super 8, and so on. There's a wide range of cassettes, and for all of those specialty format cassettes, we do offer a different film advance module. So if you want to mechanize film advance on those kind of oddball formats, you can. The basic Film Carrier 35 Mark II also has 2 thumb screws that you can remove to quickly change between the same cassettes that are used in the Pro system, although it does lack the Film Advanced module functionality. And all these same things parallel directly to our basic and Pro Film Carrier 120 Mark II. They share cassettes, they share hoods. The basic just won't work with Film Advanced modules. Here at Negative Supply, we believe in support for every film format made since 1899. And as a result of that, our catalog and our system is pretty big, and there's a lot of different parts that can fit together. So if you find that a little overwhelming or confusing, we're here to help, and we would absolutely be pleased to help you through the entire process, both from picking out the right tools, making sure you get the right coverage that you need, and also assisting you with workflow-related questions. We do give folks the option to schedule a complimentary concierge call on our website where we'll take 30 minutes or longer with you, even international callers, to help make sure you get the correct tools to cover all the formats you need to scan. We go a step further as well. We'll help you decide what digital camera may be best for this process, considering your output, what macro lens you could use, software options for negative conversion, and so on. We will guide you through the entire process for free. Additionally, maybe you might not like the idea of scheduling a call. You can use the live chat function on our website, or you can shoot us an email via the contact form on our website. A real human being will respond to you in a timely fashion, and we would love to make sure you get the expert guidance you deserve. Last but not least, Negative Supply tools are available through a growing global distribution network. So your favorite retailer in the United States may already be carrying our products. If not, and you think they should, please send us a message. We would love to work with that store to have them carry our product. We're also available internationally, Switzerland, the EU, Australia, New Zealand, and beyond. A growing list to meet the needs of our customers globally. Thanks so much for tuning into this video to learn a little bit more about the roots of Negative Supply and the basics of our film scanning system. If you have questions, please schedule a concierge call, reach out on live chat, or fill out the contact form on our site. We'd love to be of assistance to you. Thanks again, and until next time, shoot some film.